Greetings YouTube, Skill Incarnate bringing you all the latest indie gaming goodness. Welcome back as we look at another indie game. This time I'm training for the apocalypse thanks to a brand new survival simulator called Mr. Prepper. This is from PlayWay Games, the developers of House Flipper, a hugely popular home renovation simulator. Mr. Prepper goes in a totally different direction, with the game taking place in Muricaville, a small town in an alternate version of the United States, where a totalitarian government rules over the American people with an iron fist. Every aspect of daily life is heavily monitored, with limits on food, water, and even the type of furniture in your home. This is enforced by the agency, government agents who carry out the will of the president with force, taking away people's freedom under the guise of a looming threat from foreign powers. I spent many hours wondering where the developer might have gotten the inspiration for this story, but I'm afraid we'll never know. Mr. Prepper introduces us to the exciting world of disaster preparation, and is one of the most original games I played this year, tackling a more serious subject with a healthy dose of humour. It's a very detailed simulation game, with house building, survival mechanics, and some light RPG elements. In the opening of the game, Mr. Prepper decides to flee his town after witnessing crimes being perpetrated by the government. He doesn't make it far before being captured and forcibly returned home. With his car taken and his house under surveillance, Mr. Prepper prepares for long-term survival and eventual escape. He commences work on a bunker, where he can begin creating tools and stockpiling supplies. However, he must be careful as the agency is watching, balancing his prepping efforts and bunker building with keeping up the appearance of being a loyal sheep. You begin the game in your house, lacking all but the most basic resources thanks to the government's restrictions. You'll need to scrap furniture for basic resources and then scavenge the local forests for building materials. Finally, you'll need to search for valuable ores which can be smelted by mining. All of these resources need to be hidden from the agency, who perform daily inspections on your home, looking for signs of illegal activity. So you'll need to use hidden containers, hatches, and of course your bunker to keep your survival efforts unnoticed. Finally, the player has 3 basic needs: food, sleep, and preparedness. You'll need to make time to eat and sleep in between your prepping efforts to maintain your strength, and keep your preparedness high by working on your bunker. Mr. Prepper has a detailed building system, allowing players to build and upgrade their bunker to serve all of your post-apocalyptic needs. You'll start by creating storage to hide your stockpiled resources like food, water, and building materials underground. Surplus resources can be used to make farm plots to produce food, forges to smelt ore, or as extra fuel for your old generator. You'll need more resources like electronics to build things like a light so you can see. This is where other survivors come into play, allowing you to build a relationship with them, doing favours and trading for the resources you can't get yourself. Getting a generator up and running is vital, as the agency monitors your power use and will become suspicious if you use the grid to power your bunker. Food preparation is also important, with the player required to use various methods to preserve food, like pickling or drying. The ultimate goal is to construct a rocket to escape, which requires a massive stockpile of resources and an underground facility to hide your rocket. Bunker design was my favourite part of the game, as I loved growing my home from a dirt hole in the ground into a prepper's dream. Whether or not you'll enjoy the experience of Mr. Prepper depends entirely on how you enjoy management games. The entire game is a giant balancing act, with the player constantly swapping between scavenging for resources, building your bunker, stockpiling goods for the long term, taking care of your basic needs, and most importantly, keeping your activities hidden. The cycle did become monotonous at times, and I believe there should have been a wider range of activities, or better yet, some more meaningful interactions with other survivors beyond basic trading and some small tasks. Playing this game on the PlayStation was frustrating at times, due to the controls not being optimized for console. However, the game is reasonably forgiving, with me being able to bounce back from some early mistakes. I would recommend this game for anyone who enjoys management games like Fallout Shelter, and is not easily offended by the game's satirical take on politics. Personally, the humour and the freedom to prep the way I wanted was what carried the game for me. I hope you enjoyed my review, and if you did, I'd appreciate a like and a subscribe as it helps the channel. I hope you'll join me next time when we review another indie game. Until then, Skill Incarnate, out.